place of minimal development and old town charm. Captain Cook first landed here in 1778. However, this place has a deeper history of legends and ghosts. On today's episode of Hawaii's Most Haunted, we bring you to Waimea on Kauai. Beyond the cool waters and trade winds of our idealistic paradise is the thin veil which separates our world from the place where the shadows talk back. Welcome to Hawaii's Most Haunted. On the west side of Kauai is the gaping, colorful incision of Waimea Canyon. Running more than 10 miles inland from Waimea town and stretching nearly 1 mile at its widest point, the canyon is more than 3,000 feet deep. Hunters and hikers alike have shared stories of shadows moving past them and walking through spots that give them chicken skin for seemingly no reason. However, according to legend, any spirit that was not accepted into Po was forced to wander along the rim of Waimea Canyon for eternity, or until they were spoken for by their aumakua. Ages ago, the ali'i of the area, Ola, wanted to turn the Waimea River so it could flood the lo'i, the kalo patches. Let us dam the river and build a wall to lead water to the lo'i, he said. The land was considerably higher than the river, so the men had their work cut out for them. The work was hard, and all day long, the men were carrying stones and fitting them for the wall. But they worked willingly, as the lo'i would provide kalo for the whole village. However, one man stood alone. He was a kind and jolly man, but he was lazy. This was P. P's wife would complain to him that because he wouldn't work, he did not get paid with fish and kapa. So his children went hungry, and their clothing was in tatters. P felt sorry for his children, but working in the hot sun every day didn't suit him. He wanted to do one great thing and earn a large reward. The next morning, he went to his upland kalo patch, dug out all his kalo, and put it in the imu to steam. He then walked along the long mountain trail deep into the forest and found a Menehune guard. He explained to the guard that he will have a feast ready for the Menehune right next to the wall that the ali'i is building. The guard knew that P was asking for the Menehune to help him, and he agreed. "We will be there," he said. For the rest of the day, P spent his time pounding the steamed kalo into poi and wrapping it into bundles of tea leaf. It was tiring work, and his arms were spent, but he knew the reward would be worth it. Soon enough, he heard humming on the trail above him, and knew the Menehune were on their way down. He must hurry now, as his feast was only half prepared. P made his way to the mouth of the river, and, while the Menehune began to work, he kept himself busy, catching opai, or shrimp. The Menehune worked quickly. The stones were huge, some 3 feet wide and 5 feet long. They were passed hand over hand from Mokihana Ridge across the river. Each stone was smooth and prepared in such a way that a peg on one stone fit into a hole on the next. These dressed stones were placed in the riverbed and built up until there was a platform wide enough for the irrigation ditch and path. Before the slightest streak of dawn shone on the horizon, the Menehune's work was done. The water was let in and it flowed around the cliff, 20 feet above river level, to the waiting kalo lands. P's work was finished too, and from a distance, he watched his new friends enjoying all the delicious poi and opai they could eat. Then, he heard them hum happily as they marched back to their village, deep in the forest, as P went home to sleep. In the morning, the ali'i and his men came to work and stared in surprise. "It is finished," they cried. They saw that the water was flowing from the river and soaking the kalo lands. They wondered at the careful fitting of the stones and the fact that the wall was completed overnight. "Menehune," they cried. But the chief wondered why they would come to help his village, since he did not know the Menehune. Someone shouted, "P!" He has made friends of the Menehune. P was found sleeping, but was awakened by the Ali'i's servant. When asked about the wall, P explained that he saw how hard the Ali'i's men worked, and asked the Menehune to come and help. That night, P's children had new kapa and good fish and other foods. Kikia Ola, container acquired by Ola. The section of that Menehune wall may be seen today near the Waimea River. Men still wander the huge rocks chipped with stone tools and fitted perfectly together and completed all in one night. The original Waimea firehouse was located on Ola Road, below the present tennis courts and across from the community hall. Many believed that the firehouse had been built on a path that led from the old Waimea village near the river mouth to burial grounds on the hillside, and that the spirits that walked the path were not pleased with the firehouse blocking their way. In April 1947, firemen heard a loud rapping on the bedroom wall 3 times early one morning. When they investigated, they observed no footprints outside, although the ground had been soaked the night before after they watered the tea plants. Shortly after that, one of the firemen was hit hard on the back of his neck and saw a man about 7 feet tall, with no head. In this incident reported to the police, other firemen, although they didn't see a ghost, saw the witness's normally curly hair standing straight up. On another occasion, when the rapping was heard on the wall again, firemen immediately went outside to investigate. Although only one man saw a woman moving through the dark, all of the men present felt the hair on the backs of their necks standing on edge. Naturally, the firemen were met with disbelief as people scoffed at the thought of ghosts and hauntings. But when the firemen welcomed the naysayers to stay the night in the firehouse with them, no one volunteered.